Welcome to 3Oul 3Isters. My name is Oluka Jamila and you're watching us live on UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. Today on 3Oul 3Isters we have one of the most amazing ladies you would want to meet. She's called Daphine and we will get to her later on, but before we go there, I would like first of all to appreciate the beauty that you see here. These things that you see, all the furniture, the beautiful setup, all you can find it in Dotash. And Dotash is one of those places you can go and get everything you need about furniture. If you want a beautiful sitting room, a beautiful bedroom, a beautiful kitchen, I mean with even the art, you can get everything you want. And if you want to get to them, you just come to Spear House, Ginger Road, and just do a one-stop shopping. And you will find everything you want to make your home a home you look forward to after your business. Today we have one of the amazing ladies, as I told you earlier. She's called Daphine. She will introduce herself as we continue with 3Oul 3Isters. Yes, Madam Daphine, you're most welcome to 3Oul 3Isters.
Thank you, Jamila.
I want you to tell us who is Daphine?
Firstly, thank you so much for having me here. I'm delighted. I am called Daphine Nimusiima. I prefer my friends calling me Nimusiima. So Daphine is, I would say, a millennial.
So you are the millennials they talk about everywhere. Say, oh, millennials say you can do everything and achieve everything at the time you want.
Yes, that age bracket. But jokes aside, I'm a lady, born again. I accepted Christ as my personal savior. I was brought up in a Christian family by the grace of God. Yes, by the grace of God.
Yes.
And yeah, so I've grown up in that throughout
the church.
my life.
You are the church girls who grew up praying, singing, baby, baby. I mean, Jesus, all the songs. Anyway,
yes,
it's very nice to meet you, Daphine,
nice
once
to meet
again,
you,
and welcome to 3Oul 3Isters.
Thank you.
Here we are sisters. I mean, when I talk about sisters, we talk about ourselves with pride. I mean, we talk about ourselves with pride. We want us to be one of this. You want everyone to be part of the 3Oul 3Isters. And you know, when you came to the show, I was like, wow, we are having another 3Oul sister. So, having grown up in church, I mean, you're still saved. It's very rare to find girls who grew up from a Christian family, still being born again. But you know, it's very good that you're still born again. Now, tell us, how was your primary school like? You know, being a person who grew up from a family where people pray every Sunday, recite the Bible, you know, read the Bible, all those things. So, how was your primary like?
Well, I wouldn't say that I was particularly perfect. It's not like we, quoted the Bible on a daily basis, but it is something that the fear of the Lord was embedded in us while we were being nurtured. So regardless of whether you would read the Bible, that would be an individual initiative, and then sometimes as family. So growing up in primary, I had two primary schools. I had to go to Nganwa Junior and then Kashozi Boarding Primary School. Yes. Kashozi was like in the middle of the forest, somewhere in the west, but it was one of the best schools in the west. And the experience there was really normal, just like any other kid. I get to witness funny things.
What are those funny things?
The funny things in primary, one of the challenges I had was having to feed on posho on a daily, most of the days.
Were you in boarding?
Yes. Wow. Yes. At a particular point in P5, I had to go to boarding and in the middle of the forest. Yeah, so I found that challenging because we're used to, matoke. I've always been like a matoke lady. So that was quite hard until I had the opportunity to camp with one of the teachers that was friends with my parents, and he decided to camp us. We were about like 4 of us. So there we had a mix of, matoke and, some posho, but not every day. So besides that, the funny experience that I had was when one of the kids, Now, there are parents who send their kids to boarding when they are really little, like kindergarten. So there is this one particular child that actually, at the time, Samona was, booming.
Yes, yes.
Yes, so I think she felt so hungry and she decided to eat toilet paper together with Samona. I don't know if Samona looked like Kalo.
Yes, yes, and
Yeah.
it had it has that, not the salmon of now. The
Yeah.
salmon of then like had, it was a
Those
bit
particles.
dark. Yeah.
Yes, one with particles, like Kalo-like.
Yes,
So the little girl mixed tissue
and
and Samona and ate. Yeah. So when that was funny, but at the same time, it hurts.
yeah.
It gets to you to think that probably you shouldn't take your children to boarding when they are so young. Yeah, but definitely she grew. The child is still okay, but now a big girl. Yes,
Wow.
yeah.
And I hope people still don't tell her that, because at the end of it all, it stigmatizes someone.
No. That is something I just noticed. I didn't, and then I stopped her from eating
So did you
that.
continue after seeing that people are eating salmon and tissue at school? Did you at a certain point go back to day, or you remained in boarding the whole of your primary school?
You have to finish what you started. So yeah, I stayed in boarding well until P7. Yes, but living in quarters. Like I said, after. So it's still boarding, but you're in the quarters staying with the teacher.
You stay with it, but you don't. Do you sleep in the dormitory?
No, in the quarters, in the teacher's quarters. At a certain point, my parents got the opportunity to have me camp.
How old were you then?
I was about, that was P6, end of P6 to P7.
Yes.
Yes, that's when I joined the quarters. Yeah.
And what was the experience like?
The
Coming
experience, it
from
was
boarding,
much
because
easier.
boarding, the beauty. I was in boarding from P2, so I am
Wow.
one of those old girls who stayed in boarding throughout my life. So boarding life is a bit different from being in our home setup. So
Yes.
what was it like transitioning from boarding to the quarters and then keep meeting your friends?
Yeah.
Can you just tell us what was it like?
Honestly, it was much easier than boarding. And so in boarding, while others are hustling to line up to fetch water and things like that, and in boarding you'd find, a 5-liter jerrycan.
Yes.
You use that jerrycan to wash all your clothes. Why? Because the line is so long, yeah, and somehow you try to poach from, kids will try, you go to this person, ask for a cup until they get
Why
some
was it
good.
like that? You never had running water in the...
We had, well, at the time we had boreholes, but the kids were so many in school. So you'd have to line up, yeah? So you'd find like you're going to fetch water in the morning and you're coming back in the afternoon. So some children would see that hustle and feel like, you know what, let me just poach some water from, friends, gather some, then wash and go and enjoy my weekend. But when I got to quarters, that was easy. You'd fetch water and you have quite enough. And that would help us through the weekends. And then also, definitely the food, like I said, was easier. You weren't, forced to eat portion on a daily basis.
And now what
Yes.
about the prayer bit? Because you said you came from a family where people, like, basically a Christian family. So how was it like? How was your faith affected, and how did you cope in?
So concerning faith, thankfully, the Lord found me early. As much as I was brought up in a Christian family, that personal relationship, it's very individualistic with your God. So the Lord, I would talk to God, like a father. And I grew up in that line. I would talk to him like on a daily basis, even if I'm in class or my grab has been finished. I'd be like, God, your daughter, you see, my grab is done. Or I've been sharing my appetite. That's in primary.
Yes.
I've been sharing my appetite. I'm like, I've been sharing my appetite, Lord, and you see now it is done. Your daughter needs more. Before I even call my parents, you'd find one of my parents showing up with grub, and among those eats, there is appetizer. Then I look up, I'll be like, oh Lord, thank you. Yeah, so that was primary.
So
Yeah.
basically, how was it like? Did you enjoy your primary? How would you, if someone said, okay, Daphine, tell me, how was your primary if you had to rate it in terms of percentage, in terms of enjoying as a child?
Primary was long. I don't know what it is, about 7 years. But they are so long. They feel like 14 years. I don't know. I think it's actually general for everyone. But otherwise, generally, it was a normal experience like for any other child. Nothing really outstanding. Much.
Yeah, interesting. So, after primary, because you are this child who moved into the quarters, so after primary, where did you go to for your secondary?
So in secondary, I went to Mary Hill High School. It's found in Barra. And Mary Hill High School, it is one of those schools that will groom your child. So there are those things that got
Is it
embedded.
a Catholic school?
Yes, it is. It is. And they're quite strict. I've had a lot of experiences there in line with who is an indisciplined child. What you call indisciplined in the real world is different in Mary Hill. In Mary Hill, if you go late for parade, if you doze in class, yeah, you're indisciplined. So you'd find that there is a black book, we used to call it a black book. If you are caught okay, today you went late for parade, then tomorrow the teacher was moving around and they caught you dozing, like literally dozing one before you. And then maybe the third time you missed to do housework, yeah, then you'd be termed as an indisciplined child and you're probable for parading. Now, what is parading? Parading is when they put you in front of the school and they say, during assembly, and they say, so and so, come up, come up, come up. They will not say what you did, but you're going to look like you're so indisciplined. So what did you do as an indisciplined child? You dozed once. You went late for parade.
So they said all the things in front of the assembly?
They would set the individuals, the culprits,
Yes,
in front of the assembly. But they wouldn't tell the assembly
what you
exactly did.
Yeah.
So even those that stole you'd all look the same.
Like it was like the same scene, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So one time they actually had to call my mom.
It seems you became one of the victims, the undisciplined ones.
Once they called, my mom comes to office, like I was just there, I was told that I should come to office quickly, something urgent, and to arrive, they are telling her how your daughter dozed in class. Yeah, and then, of course, as a parent, you have to be like, oh, don't sleep in class, but they are thinking I also doze in meetings.
People do, especially after eating, the metabolism starts taking place and then you doze.
Yes.
And what time did they find you dozing? Were you the dozer?
It just happens. Like you are a child and maybe you've just eaten after dinner. After dinner and you have prep during prep. So at that point, all of you are supposed to be like reading, keep yourself busy, but don't doze. So we used to have teachers who be on duty in the night, that particular day or the week, and they are just perusing through the classes. And if they find you dozing, they write you in the book. So the moment you appear in the book 3 times, then you are termed
indisciplined.
Yeah, you're quote unquote indisciplined. So when I had that experience, my mom decided to bought me a jerrycan, a 5-liter jerrycan. Said, Daphine, make sure you always have water in your jerrycan and take a lot of it so that you don't doze. Yes, just so you know. You're a parent, you don't look like you're not caring. But while they are the dozing ones, we also had those ones who'd have cards were illegal, matatu.
Yes.
Yes, so one child was caught with cards and they called the parent. And the parent gets to office and he asks the administration, did you give, where did you put my daughter's cards? Because I don't want her to ask me for more cards. Meanwhile, they've called the parent because the child is indisciplined with Matatu.
Yes.
So we had a mix of parents who really didn't care about the whole school rules. But so you'd have, eventually, you bend as a parent just so your child can stay in school.
Can study, yes.
Yes.
So by the time you didn't finish, were you also paraded?
Oh,
like
once.
At one time, were you paraded?
Yeah, at one time. So I went late for how I ended up 3 times in that book. One was dozing, parade, and at a certain point, early morning.
I want to know that.
So I would have to wake up very early in the morning for prep. Yeah, that's about, by 5 we should be going to class. But you know, you're so many kids and you're going to be crowded in the washrooms. So I didn't like waiting for everybody, you know, being in the line. I would rather be, you know, sleeping a bit. And then once the washrooms are cleared, then I can go. So in that planning, you ended up oversleeping. And then the teacher on duty, they usually, you know, again, go through dormitories to make sure everyone has gone for morning prep. So at that particular time, that's when, you know, we're caught sleeping because we overslept. So that was the 3rd time. So that was caught in court, indiscipline. So I showed up on assembly, yeah, with the rest. Who jumped over the fence.
Okay, most schools used to do like expulsion and then suspension. So at what level would they suspend you?
No, I was never suspended actually.
No, I mean like students, like how many offenses would you have to commit for you to be suspended or expelled?
It would depend on the crime. Now we used to have children who would, just like one or two, who have been exposed maybe like to clubbing, and then they would jump over the fence to go and meet up with Intare boys or Chapa. They would either be, depending on how many times, they would be suspended. Yes.
And girls would jump over the fence?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, interesting. So did you continue your secondary all throughout, like O level, or where did you go for your A level then?
So A level I still went to Maryhill. I went back. I loved my school. So yes, pretty much the same experience.
As a student then, was it your interest to go back to the same school, or was it your parents' advice for you to go back to the same school?
It was actually my interest because, well, I was hoping that my friends would also go back. Maryhill is actually a good school. Yeah, it is a good school. So I was comfortable going back. Yeah, I had no issues.
Okay, and how did you perform, since it was a good school? After senior 6, where did you go to?
So after senior 6, we went to UCU, Uganda Christian University. Yeah.
And that's
in Mukono.
In Mukono, yes. I know Uganda Christian
Though
University.
I actually wanted to go to Makerere, but thank God my mom insisted that that I go to UCU for some reason.
Why UCU? And yet I know that not even up to now, still everyone who finishes like A level wants to go to Makerere. I wanted to go to Makerere even when I was like, the moment I joined second, I would always tell my friends, we shall meet at Makerere, we shall meet at Makerere. Even during my growing up, like I always knew Makerere because I used to see my sisters who were there. I'm like, I want Makerere. I never wanted to look at any university. So you as Daphine, how did you accept to go to UCU? Yes.
So incidentally, at MOOC, I wanted to do art and design. And basically because my interest in MOOC was because that's all I grew up knowing. Like that was the campus.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, so UCU had started getting some attention. And when my mom insisted that I go to UCU, I was a bit heartbroken at that time, but I'm glad that she did.
Which year was this?
Because about 2015. Yeah. So I was glad that actually she did choose UCU for me. And I think because the comfort it gives that knowing that the tuition you're paying, your child is actually in class, because they used to do roll call.
University roll
Yes, at
call?
campus, there's to make sure that every student is actually attending lectures.
And what if at a point where, because I know that I've been at university, like there are people who come to university and they don't attend lectures, they only appear when the timetable comes out, and then they tell other people to do for them notes and do stuff. So like what would happen to students who are there and you miss, like every time the roll call, maybe you miss for like 3 weeks or 1 month, what would happen?
You'd actually have a retake.
For not attending lectures?
Yes, so classes would actually be full. That's the beauty with UCU. So as a parent, you're sure that your child is actually studying. Not in MOOC, there is a probability of you, dodging a few classes here. You can actually even work, full-time job, and they wouldn't know.
Yes.
Yeah. So
because Makere has, like, if you're an evening, you can actually work because lectures start at 5, 4:30, so and that's the same time people get out of work.
So the experience at UCU was, I was still exposed to the Christian circles. The Lord just kept me in the way somehow because of the background that I had with him at a younger age. Even besides family, it was personal. So I ended up joining dancing groups, Christian dancing groups. It was called, I think, TLM at that time. I don't know if it is still there. Yeah. So I would dance, but now
but
the Lord is good.
No, like when you talk about Christian, like being a Christian, like all through, I know that university has challenges.
Yeah.
Even UCU, the people have challenges. So
Yeah.
how was I want you to share with us your experience, like after A level. Usually, university is a bit free. Even if you have to attend lectures and they have to roll call, there is first of all the kind of attire. I know that girls after senior 6, if you've not been wearing pants, when you go to university, you want to put on jeans,
Freedom.
damage. And I think by 2015, damage was there. Girls would wear like short things. So maybe you can tell us your experience, like after senior 6. How was it like? Getting admission to UCU, your life throughout there. How was it like as a Christian? Didn't you get diverted at a certain point?
Well, let me shock you. So at UCU, you're going into freedom. You've left high school and you're joining campus. You're excited, of course. Now you're not in the confines of Maryhill. It actually took me a while to adjust. You'd find you're out in town, but then you're feeling like the headmistress. You might meet the headmistress in town. Because we're so used to being like confined in the fence at Maryhill, and going out was an abomination. So it took me a while, like a year to actually adjust. Like Daphine, you're not at Maryhill anymore. You're now out. Like you're free.
When you'd be in your room, when you do before lectures, you stay in your room, or
so basically at the time it would be lectures, dining, and then fellowship. Now at UCU, when you're a first year, you have access. It's compulsory to sleep inside campus. So there are campus hostels. So that's how we would go to the dining, you get a meal card. So it was more so the same, only that now you're free to not eat dinner and go and eat chicken in Buguji, for example. Yes. But what I wanted to share with you concerning the whole freedom of putting on damage and all, in UCU, we're not allowed to enter campus with trousers. Yes. Yeah, so they put up that policy, and we had to adhere to it. So we are free, but not so free. So we're still
So even
kept
in the
in check.
hostels, you do wear dresses only and skirts?
In hostel, as long as you're not on compound like in trousers, yes, especially the very tight ones, they would. UC is a Christian university, so they try to uphold those Christian values. So if you're outside, if you're staying outside of school, you're free. You can put on your trousers and go out and whatever. But if you're within the campus, or if you're coming to the library to study, you're required to put on, like, be smart
Like a
and
lady.
decent. Yes. Yes. So it wasn't as free as you thought.
But to me, that is still freedom, because if you compare to Mary Hill, where you had to
Oh,
be
yeah.
confined in, the same place, like
Yes.
routine kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
life. I think for you who was coming from a confined kind of high school, this was still morally almost the same.
Yeah.
But a little bit different, where you could,
Get out of the
get
gate
out of
and
there.
come
You
back.
eat
Yeah.
what you want. If you want to starve, you starve. If you
Yeah.
want to do that thing. Anyway, thank you very much, Daphne. That is very interesting. We shall be coming back to talk about now after university. There is a book which it says, after university, what next? So I'll be coming back to discuss with you that. You're still watching Super Soul Sisters here on UBC, Inspiring Uganda, and you can always catch us around 9 p.m. on Wednesdays, every Wednesday. Trust me, you'll not miss us on UBC Live. And then every Friday, 11 a.m., you will repeat the same show and you watch it. And then also, if you happen to miss that, you can catch us on YouTube, Super Soul Sisters, so that you can watch every episode that you want. You can also learn a lot from the sisters that we bring to this show. And also, if you want to buy furniture, if you want to beautify your home, it's a new year. So if you want to, refurnish your home, you can come to Dotash and get everything you want, from chairs, wardrobes. Just come to Dotash and Ginger Road, Spear House. We'll be going for a break, but we'll be right back. Welcome back to Super Soul Sisters. My name is Oluka Jamila, and you're watching us live here on UBC TV, Inspiring Uganda. Before we went for a break, we were here sharing with Daphine a lot about her high school, primary, and where she went to, like, in terms of career. Now we are still with her here. Before we went for a break, you had shared with us about your growing up, coming up from a Christian home, going to Christian schools, going to a Christian university. Everything about you is Christian. So, but I want to know, before we go into your career, every child has things that they have done that they do not forget. I just want you to share with us one of the things that you did. Two things. One thing that you did that you're proud of, up to date, and then that one thing that you think you are not proud of. And then you tell us which family you come from.
I was born to my dad, called Mr. Tumsime Yosam, and my mom, Mrs. Penina Tumsime. And I grew up in Kabohe. It's in Shema district, just 20 minutes away from Bara. And yeah, so those are my parents, and whom I love and cherish. Unfortunately, I lost my dad when I was at adolescent age.
What age were you? Sorry for that.
At the time, I was about 16. Yeah, so after that, it's really basically been mom, and she has really done a great job. But above all, God literally took that position in our family. So everything that I am or my family is, I would attribute it to God. He has been faithful. And like before, I had talked about how the Lord had, trained me to rely on Him. So by the time actually my dad rested, He had put me in a place where I would regard Him as dad. So it hurt so much, of course, But then I told God, I had the comfort of knowing that the Bible tells me that He will never leave me nor forsake me. So from that comfort is when I told God and said, well, my dad may have, come home, but I know that you will never leave me nor forsake me. So that hope of knowing that you have a Father above who's watching over you is what has really walked me through this life, and I can be confident
And you're
to
proud
say,
of that.
oh yes, even if you call orphans, I might probably not show up. Yes, because that father-daughter relationship is personal. Yeah, he has really made it personal, and I thank him. And I pray if there is anyone feeling like they are left alone, they are not. You just have to allow him to take that role, and he will indeed
And what
take
is
it.
that thing that, every child has something they have done that really you're like, I cannot forget this, this was not right. What is that thing you've done as a child?
Yeah, so as much as I was brought up in a Christian family, there are those things that the enemy tries to,
Yes.
to drop in, to creep in as you're growing up. I remember there is a time, because of peer pressure now, there are children in primary who would come with what I would say it's nice, it's like maybe biscuits, what, what.
They
And
call
you're
them
like,
grabs? Grabs.
grab, yes. And you're like, you feel like you also want to eat the biscuit. So one time, poor me, I found money, like the temptation of money just waiting for you to pick. And as a child, I just picked it and went and bought biscuits and a packet of sweets, those were tiny, the were tiny sweets. And yeah, I never, I never told my parents about it. Probably my mom now, but it's a habit. It didn't get to a habit stage of consistently, stealing. Yeah, so at a certain point, of course, God, the Holy Spirit will convict you and tell you, no, this is wrong. You already know it is wrong because you're hiding.
Yes, you're eating sweets under the blanket. And
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So that was that one temptation that I had as a child, besides the sugar kind of things, yes.
So you've shared with us that. So I hope Mom will forgive you for that.
She already knows
Yeah.
I don't think
Okay.
she'll have any issues.
That's nice. Now, what is that thing you were proud of that today, even if you're called? I mean, if you won an award, Daphne would say, "This is when you're giving your eulogy, like this is one of the things I did as a child, and I'm proud of it, which you will pass to your children and your great grandchildren." What is that thing that you're proud of? From the time you were a young girl to the time you went up to university, I mean that period from primary to university, what is that one thing that you're proud of that you want to share with us today as a Super Soul sister?
Oh, I would still. So the one thing that I would be proud of, that I would want my children to walk into, is actually loving the Lord throughout their life. It is possible for someone to grow up knowing God and being shielded to the corruption of this world. Not that you will not see the corruption, but somehow you'll have the wisdom to know, okay, it is okay for someone to go to these places. Yeah, you will not judge them, but do you really have to? Yeah, are you losing anything by not going? So if you're not losing anything, why go there? So that's the wisdom that helped me walk walk this life, I wouldn't say upright. Yeah, I've not been perfect per se also. I want to put that out there. I wouldn't say that I've really been perfect. The enemy doesn't sleep. He'll always try to bring in a few things here and there to trap you. But the Bible says that even if someone falls 7 times, yes, 7 times they'll rise up. Yes. So I would say relying on God is one thing that
that you're
I'm
proud of.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very beautiful to share. Now, since you're a person who is a Christian, you've grown up a good girl, you have studied. Now, tell us now about what you are doing. What is your career like? Because from what I see, I see some nice things here saying Leah, feminine wash. But I think this is just one of it that you've done as an entrepreneur. So I would like you to take us through your journey. How did you start?
So
From how did you start from the time of the mine? How did you even think of this? And how did you start to the level of this?
So profession-wise, throughout my career, I've been exposed to mainly hiring, talent acquisition. So I worked with different companies in tech, social finance, and artificial intelligence. So what was I doing in all those industries? I was doing talent acquisition, which is hiring. Like a company, you're working with a company and you are a talent acquisition manager or specialist, and you're responsible for bringing people within the company. So I did that for some years until COVID happened, and the company I was working with, the funders, the money kind of reduced,
COVID
and they stopped.
affected a lot of businesses.
Yes, so they stopped hiring, and the first departments that were affected definitely would be the hiring department. Yes, so both in Uganda and Europe and Kenya, the department was resolved until further notice. So that's how. That's a bit of my professional area. So, but throughout those years, I'm a person that is interested in research all around. I like to read things that grow me as an individual. If I'm reading a book, what am I learning from it? I've never been a person who's interested in, like romance novels we used to have in high school. So because of research, I got to learn quite a lot, both in the things that we consume, and also the things that happen in the world system-wise, which I'm not going to get into. So that's how I got interest in having products that are actually good for us with no side effects. Most of the products you find on the market, you find someone is using it, but then there is a hidden side effect that you're not being told about. So my interest was, we have all these, herbal things that don't actually give you any side effects. Why don't we have those? So when my work situation happened and I prayed about it, that's when I was led to start Leah Herbal Solutions. Leah Herbal Solutions is a company that is focused on producing products that are harmless. You can use them consistently, and you will not have any side effect, but you will have the results that you're seeking for.
Yes.
So that's how our first product was birthed, which is Leah Feminine Wash. Yes, so Leah Feminine Wash is a women product that is meant to help women who are interested in keeping their area down there. Well, I don't know if it is okay to say this on TV, but to keep their vagina area clean and safe from bacterial infections. Yes.
So now, is this one of the products? This was the pioneer product.
Yes.
And which other products? Because you said this is it's a herbal. You do a lot of herbal. So which other products do you have apart from this?
So this being the pioneer product is what we have at the moment, but our clients can be on the lookout for more that is coming, which should be in line with the skin health, and mainly skin health, and then also internal cleaning. But
so you're basically focusing on health.
On
health, like human health, and then on women.
Yes, like keeping clean both physically and internally, like on the outside and then the inside.
So how have you managed to get this out there? Like how many people know? Like because you said you do research. So I imagine if you do research, you must have done pre-testing. You must have done all those things to see how many how has it fared in the market?
So it's been a good journey so far. But as you know, we are so many, the population is quite big. So being able to reach every person who may need this is not that easy. But you do as much as you can, and it's through referrals majorly that we have had many orders coming through. In Uganda, we have quite a big population that it is quite hard, and I think this is a common challenge for most businesses that have legitimate products. It is what has helped us most is being online.
I was about to ask you that you said you had trained in a lot of talent acquisition and then AI, and I was about to ask you now, since we are moving into the digital world,
Yes.
how have you managed to get this out there? I haven't seen it, so I want to know how have you and how do we get to access this?
So we have online platforms. We've really leverage on social media a lot, and that is mainly on Instagram and TikTok. Actually, posting on a daily basis is literally like a full-time job. That is also one challenge that I think most businesses are facing. Because you really want to focus on production, you may not necessarily have that time to always be on, social media. But we try level best to make sure that we are updating our customers and clients concerning this product. And maybe to just briefly talk about what it does. It is a natural product that helps keep women clean from bacterial infections. In this era of us using public toilets, as we speak, you may want to, you're out of home and you want to go and use the washrooms, or your child is going to school where they're going to share basins and all kinds of things. You don't know what they're going to be exposed to. Or you're in the office space and you definitely share, or you're traveling, so we're exposed to, ladies are exposed to these infections literally on a daily basis. So this wash is meant to prevent being exposed to those bacterial infections. And the beauty about it, it comes with other bonuses like stopping itching, bad odor. The ladies who experience bad odor just for some reason, even when they clean, they experience bad odor. Someone bypasses you and you're like, Lord. So this product actually helps with that.
Are they tested clinically?
Yes, with NBS. With NBS. We are still processing the one for NDA. Yeah. But
so if for example, right now, someone who is out there watching this show and she's very interested, because I know that most people watch this show, especially the sisters who are out there, and someone wants to access this, like right now, you said you're on social media. So what are those social media handles that we can just, click by, using your phone just to get to this?
Actually, when you go to Instagram and type in Leah Herbal Solutions or Leah Feminine Wash, you should be able to find our page. Yeah, and from there you can send us a message or even call. The contacts are there. I can as well give the contact right now, which is 0700297927. If you call that contact, there'll be someone to help, to make sure that your package gets to you. We are also working at ensuring that this product is in all the major cities in the country.
In supermarkets?
Yes, in supermarkets. The main supermarkets.
Interesting, Daphine. This is really interesting. So for the ladies, if you have any issues, I think this is the way to go. Now, to sum it all, I want you to tell us, what advice do you give to young girls today who are aspiring to, start businesses, be somewhere in life? What message do you have for them?
I would say that if the Lord has given you a vision, don't be afraid, just start, and make sure that you engage Him in every stage. Where you feel you need help, tell Him. He's just waiting for you to ask for help. and he'll show up. He will help you. And concerning capital, sometimes most businesses actually, okay, some, they may not necessarily need so much capital to start, or if you can actually get the capital from family or wherever, just start. The most important bit is actually to start. There are so many people who are in jobs or relying on government to come through. I've not seen anywhere where the government comes and comes to help people without a vision. First have the vision, and then you can probably seek help and partnership later, but you start.
Thank you very much, Daphne. That was really inspiring. It's such a good thing. And I hope the ladies out there can, go for this so that we smell nice, we be good, we remain as sisters, we support the other sister, support our sister to make sisterhood a strong bond for each and everyone here in our country. I'm really grateful for each and everyone who has tuned on UBC today to watch Super Soul Sisters. This is the only place where we women can share our issues as women. We share issues. I mean, we tell stories from the first person, stories from someone who has lived it, who has reached somewhere, like just the way Daphne has shared her story. You can start small. I think from her, she says, start small and always pray, ask God to guide you, which is a very good thing. I think I'll take that home as Jamila, but still, I'll tell you that if you want to beautify your home as you're coming up with those ideas, please come to Dotash. Come to Dotash, get something to make your home beautiful. You can start from somewhere. Because, nowadays everyone wants to go to a home which is welcome. You can start and come and buy something. Rebrand your sitting room, rebrand your bedroom, make your bedroom a beautiful place, make your kitchen a beautiful place. Buy some art to make your home a nice place. And the only place you can find that in Uganda, in Uganda, and the quality of Hollywood, quality of abroad, there is Dotash. And still I'll tell you that if you want to catch us on UBC, it's always at around 9 p.m. on Wednesday, and on Friday 11 a.m. And if you miss for some reason, please get us on YouTube, Super Soul Sisters. My name is Jamila Oluka, and you've been watching Super Soul Sisters. You're on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda. Nice time.